Bash of the Berlin is almost a week away. And I asked this question: does the Viper Randy Orton getting close to his Sweet 15? We'll ask that question and more here on the Heel of the Ring podcast.
Awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a bat,
looking
I
at
don't
the
know, my
youngest
wrath, my
and
blood
fastest
boils
rising
over
star
like,
in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Heel of the Ring podcast here. I'm your host, BX Sports Jedi Kev, the Don of the Watch Along. I had this question. We know Bash of the Berlin is a week away, and I was thinking, and I was just getting my creative juices, if I had the creative pencil for booking wrestling or writing a wrestling show. That's what we do as fans, and watching the product for all these years. And everyone knows, well, if you know me, I'm a big Gunther fan. I really love Gunther Walter from the NXT UK onto the NXT, onto the scene from the main roster on the WWE, taking the Intercontinental title from Ricochet and doing what he did with that streak and so forth. And I would hate for Gunther to be a transitional champion, but I have to ask that question. I have to be cynical. I have to look at the possibility of Randy Orton becoming a 15-time world champion, Sweet 15. Remember, there's a record, the Ric Flair record, 17-time world title. John Cena, we all know he's returning at the end of 2025, or the beginning of 2025, he's going to call it quits at 2025 in-ring competitor. By the way, as we do in this video, John Cena's reported signing contract extension to remain in the WWE after his in-ring assignment, or he hangs his boots up for the very last time. He will be an ambassador. He will be part of the company. Smart move on the WWE to keep John Cena around, and John Cena wanting to be with the WWE. That's a home run. But the question of this video is, do we see Randy Orton beating Gunther at Bash of the Berlin? And I put myself, in the creative pencil, in WWE creative, being in that boardroom, would love to have that privilege. Like I think many of us as well, in the IWC and all different podcasters. I would venture to say I actually will pull the trigger and have Randy Orton become a 15-time world champion, because you're going to set up a lot of opportunities and storyline. You could, and without saying it, I would have a 2 out of 3 with Gunther. Well, after Berlin, 2 out of 3 where the title exchanges a couple times. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't know if this regime will do it, because Triple H, Paul Levesque, and company, they like the longevity title reigns. They like the titles to mean something. They don't like the hot potato, which I agree. And I applaud them for not having the hot potato of the titles. They want to get at least a champion to hold it for 90 days or more, to see what they could do as a champion and so forth. You could see it from Liv, you see it from Unholy Union, you see it for all the different champions. You're watching the product, you understand. But this one here with Gunther, and Gunther's not going anywhere, although he just turned 37 years old. He is right in his middle of his prime. He just turned 37. Randy Orton, of course, in the back end of his 40s, or mid 40s. Still looks phenomenal shape. Doesn't mean no ageism whatsoever. But my point is, I would like to see Randy Orton become the 15-time world champion. And you could set up where in Bash of the Berlin, something happened where, similar to by the way, that King of the Ring match between both of them for the finals, hell of a match. And I understand they left that they left the door open, and I love the way WWE left the creative open to revisit that with the shoulder, where the shoulder wasn't pinned, and they were able to do the story that we're getting at Bash of Berlin. And I appreciate that, because a lot of times they do a lot of loose ends, or they're trying to sweep it under the rug. And no, WWE revisited as soon as Gunther became champion. Randy Orton was his number one contender. And they put out a banger of a match in King of the Ring. And I think in Berlin, Bash of the Berlin, I think they will still bring a great match. I think there's a lot of meat into this bone, that is called Randy versus Gunther. I would like to see that at Bash of the Berlin, where maybe where there is a opportunity for a double pin, and Randy Orton last second gets his shoulder up, and Gunther kind of beat himself, because let's say Gunther puts on that sleeper hold. He knows he puts that sleeper triangle hold on his opponents when he wraps his legs around, where Randy Orton for a quick second, Gunther keeps his shoulders pinned, and he slipped. He's been getting, one of the stories they could tell, that Gunther's been slipping a little bit as ring general, getting caught with RKO twice. In Bash of the Berlin, if he goes for that sleeper, modified sleeper with his legs wrapped, and Randy Orton takes advantage and pins, and you have a new champion. You could do all those different things, but here's my thought why I want to like to see Randy, that 15-time world champion. Because now if he wins it 15 times, and then if you could have a rematch with Gunther at the Bash of the Berlin, or at Bad Blood, excuse me, or even in the Crown Jewel, you can have Ludwig Kaiser interfere and help Gunther win that title again. Then he's chasing. You have that rivalry, and it brings more. And there was nothing wrong with that. Bringing a little homage to Cena and Orton. They exchanged the titles so many times in the Ruthless Aggression era. Wouldn't mind seeing that now as well with Gunther and Randy, because we got to prolong to WrestleMania, and you don't want to burn too many wrestlers, and we got guys rising up like Brunson Reed and so forth. I still think he's not there quite yet. So I would like to see that series between back and forth, and it could come to a conclusion at the Survivor Series, where Imperium helps Imperium, or you one half of the Imperium, because it's only Ludwig Kaiser, helps Gunther win that title, either in Crown Jewel or in Bad Blood, either whichever one they want to go with, or even on a Monday Night Raw. And Randy goes, I want no outside interference. We're gonna go into War Games. We're gonna fight in the cage. In the War Game cage, we're gonna have the match and have them have that title there, and maybe Randy picks up the victory there. And it's not going to hurt Gunther. I think Gunther will always be in that world title picture at the moment, but I think setting up for 2025, the first night at Netflix, you have Randy Orton as your world champion. He's cutting a promo how he's the world champion, 16-time world champion. 2025 is the year of a lot of record breaking. For streaming and all that. He could just use that part of his promo, and out comes John Cena. Remember, John Cena's he will be there night one, and John Cena comes out and quite congratulates Randy Orton, and Randy Orton, in a nice mood or a good mood, whatever you could say, says that he's willing to give John Cena a title shot, and Cena rejects it and says, no, I got to earn it. Now you got yourself your Royal Rumble winner. You got now, because let me ask this question, wrestling fans. We know right now, we don't know what the main event of WrestleMania 41 in Vegas is going to be. We don't know if it's going to be Rock and Cody. It's going to be Roman and Rock. We do not know we know the schedules on these heavy hitters, main eventers. We don't know Punk and Seth Rollins. That looks like that might be going there, barring injury, because CM Punk could get hurt from here and there. You never know. But one thing is sure, if you're telling me that for WrestleMania 41 in Vegas, you get Randy Orton versus John Cena, one last WrestleMania where both are 16-time world champions, and John Cena wins the Rumble and challenges Randy Orton, because I think Cena's going to go on that heroic, I got to earn it. I don't feel like I deserve to be in the title picture. I think he's going to go that route. We saw that last year. I think I would like to see that. Now you don't have to worry about someone else winning the Rumble and wedging themselves at the main event of WrestleMania, because especially if it's the undisputed world champion with Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes is going to be busy. We don't know if it's going to be with The Rock or it's going to be with Roman. We don't know if Roman's going to take on Solo Sikoa at WrestleMania. There's so many unvariables now. There's so much planning and so much creative. But my goodness, if you put that roadmap where I'm going to tell you WrestleMania, no matter which night 1 or night 2, you're going to have John Cena versus Randy Orton. You could actually call it for the legacy, or legend, or legend killer versus the legend. What an acolyte for. He's already 16-time world champions, John Cena, and you could flip a coin who you want winning that title. Be honest with you, I just want to see them in that ring with that storyline. Remember, wrestling is about compelling stories, and you're pretty much closing out the Ruthless Aggression era with those two at that WrestleMania. Then if you have Rock, let's go with this hypothetical use, is Rock taking on Cody Rhodes for the undisputed world champion. Where does that leave Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns could be in a program either with Jacob Fatu or Solo Sikoa one-on-one. Where does that leave Jay and Jimmy Uso? Maybe they're in a tag team against the Guerrilla Warfare. They said they're going to add more bloodline members. So you never know what that's going to be. That looks like that's occupied. You also look like you're going to get Punk and Seth Rollins. Just think of the WrestleMania card, and we're months away from it. Things could happen. Injuries, newcomers, new storyline members, all different things could happen. But just think of that WrestleMania, Dennis says, what's that going to leave so many other wrestlers? Well, just think of this. What happens to Gunther? Well, Gunther could go on a program where he's trying to capture that world title. He could be preoccupied with Giovanni Vinci, trying to get revenge on him. You also got Brock Lesnar in your back pocket. You're telling me Brock Lesnar and Gunther for WrestleMania 41 in Vegas isn't going to be compelling? Wouldn't you want to see that? So there's a lot of ramifications or good things if Randy Orton wins this title. You could go certain routes, and WWE's been known for planning ahead. I don't know how Triple H era did. I know Vince always planned ahead, but I don't know how Levesque does here. And it looks like it's pretty much, every segment of Raw and SmackDown has a story, and they don't abandon it. They continue with it, and we see payouts with it. But just think of that card. Just think of the card I'm just telling you right now. I mean, Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, for that title. My goodness, so many different, and Punk, Seth Rollins, the Usos versus Guerrilla Warfare. You talking about Solo Sikoa or Jacob Fatu taking a Roman Reigns, or any one of those, or even Solo Sikoa, LA Knight for the United States title. Anything that type of mix and match. Just think of Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair one-on-one if they go that route. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Just think about the card of WrestleMania, and they're getting some of these heavy hitters are getting healthy. We haven't talked even about Bayley and Nia Jax, Naomi. I mean, my goodness, if you're a WWE fan, it is stacked right now and exciting times. And we're not even talking about if Joe Henry even appears on a WrestleMania moment, have a WrestleMania match or something whatsoever. So there's so many variables there. I think to me, it's a thumbs up if they go with, I hate my boy Gunther to be a transitional champion, they're losing it a couple weeks later. But if it's going to lead us to where we're going to get compelling storylines, especially I'm going to get Cena versus Randy Orton, and why not? Listen, I know Paul Levesque, Triple H, he loves his history in wrestling. He knows we all know he's a huge Ric Flair fan. Ric Flair gave his blessing that he wouldn't mind John Cena breaking his record. And why don't we do this? Why don't we compromise? We say that, whoever wins, let's say Cena becomes the 17-time champion, and then Randy takes it from Cena. You leave it both at 17. And you have a 3-way tie, and I don't think anyone's going to break that record. But you have WWE homegrown. John Cena, Randy Orton, WWE homegrown with that record. Remember, Ric Flair wrestled in the NWA, wasn't homegrown WWE. He wrestled in different promotions with that to bring down longevity with his title run. Now WWE could really legitimately claim, and I don't, if they wanted to go, a homegrown WWE wrestler has tied Flair's record, and you could actually put both of them. And talk about Mount Rushmore and a way to close out a career for John Cena and Randy Orton. You'll always have them synonymous together, especially just think about that years from now in the Hall of Fame. You probably get Randy Orton inducting John Cena in the Hall of Fame or vice versa. I mean, it'll be phenomenal. So I'm a little bit excited to see Randy Orton, the possibility of the Viper becoming a 15-time world champion. He is a great worker. The one thing that concerns me about Randy Orton is his back and his health. Yes, he's been a lot of bumps and he has taken some few nicks and bruises. That back, when you have a bad back, you're fine, and then you could just wake up and just crawl out of bed in a totally pinched nerve, aggravated back. Also the traveling, going from city to city, different hotel beds, the airline, it's grueling on the body. But if Randy Orton is signed a 5-year deal, re-sign, and so did Cena, I don't think they're gonna go. I don't think Cena's gonna wrestle past this. He's gonna keep his word to his bond, but you're gonna keep Randy Orton for 5 more years. It will be a phenomenal move for him to win that title and be a Sweet 15 and possibly get to that 17 plateau, that not plateau, but that benchmark that we all elusive would love to see him. What's your thoughts there? I would like to ask your comments. Please comment in the section. Let me know what you think. Would you like to see Randy Orton? Because listen, Randy Orton's accomplishments. He's a 2-time Royal Rumble winner, 2009 and 2017. He's a 2-time WrestleMania main eventer. Remember, he wrestled WrestleMania 25 and 30 he was in the main event. The Intercontinental Champion, United States Champion, 4-time tag team champion, and of course he won a couple of Slammies. So Randy Orton has done it all. Legacy, you could keep, some people might say Mount Rushmore type of wrestler, especially the different generations that you were born in. He might be your Mount Rushmore type of wrestler to watch and see him day in, day out. And some folks even say underappreciated Randy Orton, for not talked about immediately, like, oh my God, one of the top wrestlers. Randy Orton is one of the top heels champions of all time, if you ask me. He works, but right now he's embracing the babyface run, and I enjoying it. I'm liking it. I don't know if he's going to eventually turn on Cody Rhodes. I think everybody wants to see that, but we could wait for that. We don't have to rush it just yet, and we could prolong that with the John Cena, Randy Orton, and that they still could give you those type of matches. So again, I'm all for it. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to thank you for joining me here. I am BX Borjetta. We do the wrestling watch-alongs. We do all the different SmackDown, Raw, NXT, all the premium live events. We do, and TNA as well. So we ask you to join us, be part, let it hear our voice, and also help support our wrestling community. We have a nice wrestling community that we gather together, and we come on each other's programs. You see D-Walk from NXT time, from the PUWF. That's the podcast for underappreciated wrestling fans. You find that on the Weekend Reaction, as well as Mr. Flint 810 YouTube channel. We also got our friends. Are you watching this? Are you seeing this? Miss Jazz Marie, and please check her out, as well as Hey Canary. Courtney, you see Courtney on Are You Seeing This Wrestling as well with Miss Jazz Marie, as well as Alex Coquito and the PUWF. I mentioned them earlier, but they have their wrestling talk with Mr. Joe Blanco. Don't forget, Misfit Nation has the Kayfabe Cartel. They do the Kayfabe Cartel. They talk wrestling. He has politics. So please check them out as well. Good friend there. The Run-In with our guy Mike 27. So check him out, the Run-In podcast, and Miss Marie Shadows on Square Circle Podcast YouTube channel. All that will be in the video description. Please support all our friends. Don't forget, Let Me Talk to You podcast with my guy J Movie Mania. Yes, indeed, in Cleveland. You see them. They're the cheering section of NXT on Tuesday nights. You see them there. When you see them, you know them. When you see their podcast and you see them cheering there, and they're the ones with the big chants in NXT, I want to give them a shout out. So definitely, please check them out. Support any way you can. One sub means a lot for all of us. A like button as well. Anything we could do to make the program absolutely better, please let us know. And we definitely love the feedback. We thank you guys for us. We're getting to the mission of 20,000 subscribers. So we want to continue to ask you to join us and be part of our wrestling community. Yeet. So we talk to you guys later. Peace out.